You're watching Jurukan.
It's 2 days before Thanksgiving, and so happy Thanksgiving to everyone. I would like to say that this is my Thanksgiving special, but it's not. It's not. This is to talk about a really interesting festival that's coming up, and we're going to talk about that in just a moment. But welcome again. And for more information on the show, please visit me at jurukan.com, Jurukan. And if you're on MySpace or Facebook, just look up Jurukan and send me a note, say hi, ask to be a friend, and I'll certainly make you a friend of Jurukan. So it's good to have you here tonight. So today I have with me people that are participating in Así Somos Bilingual Playwrights Festival. And with me today I have Jose Isquella. Could just, anytime you feel like it, just show him. Just there you go. Jose Isquella and Lina Sarrello. My Spanish is not so good. And Jesus Martinez. Welcome.
Welcome.
And we're here to talk about the Así Somos Bilingual Playwrights Festival at Teatro La Tea, which is in the Lower East Side on 107 Suffolk Street, the JFM train to Essex Delancey. The festival is from December 5th
through the 14th.
So it's a really exciting first annual festival that I'm sure you'll get a lot of a big kick out of it. So Jose, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Sure. My name is Jose Isquella, and I'm the artistic director of Teatro La Tea. I've been the artistic director of the theater, which has now been in existence for about 25 years, for the last 4 years. And part of my responsibility has been to primarily kind of sort of bring the theater and bring new audiences back into the fold of what it is that we do at the theater. We're a traditionally Latino theater, which means it is our job to grow and develop our Latino artists and our culture through theater arts work. The festival was designed because we've come to this sort of very interesting place as a community where we're trying to figure out if, as an audience, if we function more in English or in Spanish. So Así Somos was this idea that came about after a long discussion, figuring that if we kind of put it out there for our playwrights to write their pieces in both English and in Spanish, that we could produce a work that would kind of let us know what the spectrum of experiences is that we have as Latinos, and that we could all enjoy them, whether we actually spoke English or whether we could just wanted to bring our grandmothers to listen to them in Spanish.
So this festival is plays that are written in English and in Spanish, so they're presented bilingual, because it says bilingual, so it's English and Spanish at the same time, or?
No, they're presented 1 week in English,
okay,
and 1 week in Spanish, but it is the same story with the same actors, written by the same playwright.
Okay. And Así Somos, what did you come up with? I mean, I love it. It's perfect. But
well, Así Somos, we were all kind of trying to figure out exactly what was the closest literal translation, and I guess it was "Thus we are."
That's what I felt. Yeah.
Yeah. And the idea was that we wanted to sort of, again, present a sort of an array of the experiences that make up our community. Whether they have to do with how we view arts, how we view politics, how we view music, love stories, whatever it is. This is who we are, presented and written by us, rather than having another entity sort of dictate what the images of us and what the stories of us should be.
You know what I like about that you chose Así Somos for this festival is that, yes, it translates to "Thus we are," is more or less a literal translation, but Así Somos, at least Puerto Rican, has a little bit of an attitude. It's like, "Así somos." Ike. Yeah. So I kind of like that little bit of attitude, like, yeah, that's who I am. You got a problem with that?
Yeah. Well, so, there's a little
was a little bit of that in there? Or?
There's definitely a little bit of that. We're, first of all, we are kind of rough, edgy New Yorkers. We're in the Lower East Side. And our writers are coming from just about everywhere, Miami, from LA, from Washington Heights, representing Cubans, Mexicans, Dominicans, and, such a varied array of existence and stories. And most of them come from urban centers. And then, so part of it is, this is who we are. And also, we as a community and as the world is changing, vis-a-vis the election. You know, it's nice to be able to say, you know, this is, you know, we are telling our stories now. This is how we need to be seen. This is how we want to be seen. We are no longer, we are not going to wait for anyone to tell us that we can play something other than the traditional roles that are usually slated for other folks. And I'll leave it at that to be very politically correct.
Well, you know, this Playwright Festival came at a great time, but the era's changed. We have a new president coming in, and it's going to change our writing also, because certainly, unfortunately, 9/11 changed the world mentality and how we looked at the world and how we thought and wrote accordingly. And now we have this president that's, you know,
Diverse.
Completely, and it's a fantastic thing, and I think it's going to change. I'm curious to see how Así Somos grows in this new environment that's under a lot of stress, and yet I think everyone has a lot of hope, at least willing to pull together to make things happen. So I'm curious to see how the world mentality, and especially in our playwriting, is going to be reflected in that.
You know, one more thing as it pertains to the growth of the festival is, and before we actually began the program, we were mentioning, somebody mentioned Lithuanian stories. You know, one of the things that's sort of very near and dear to my heart is that New York is this city where the entire world population is reflected. And hopefully the idea of the festival is that as we grow in years, because we are a bilingual festival, we can sort of grow in year and in time and always include another culture in the festival, so that we can all hear each other's stories. We can all learn sort of what it is that we are and as we are. You know, I mean, in the Lower East Side, you have a community that was traditionally Russian Jewish and then grew into Italian. And then also right now, the two largest communities are Spanish and Chinese. So, you know, there isn't anything to limit us from saying that 5 years from now, we can include 1 week in English that allows all of us to be able to essentially visit each other's cultures, and then another week in that particular culture's native language, so that, again, sort of ancestral members of that culture that usually don't participate in theater arts in New York would feel welcome and could participate as well. That's deep, huh?
Well said.
That was a lot.
Yes.
I didn't even take notes. 'Cause
He's
diverse.
and he's blushing.
I turned rosy.
Beautifully said. I got it, but it was a lot. Damn.
So I'm be quiet, let them, you know, do
No,
their thing.
that was.
I think you're doing fine.
Take it over, man.
I was gonna say. I'm gonna say that's bombish.
Oh.
Ah, that's deep. I like that.
Okay, I said it first, guys. Okay, this bombish. Yeah, that's right. But thank you for that, because I mean it's true. Everything that you said, at least the parts that I understood. So you know, I get it. There's so much I want to ask you, and I want to make sure that I have time for everyone. So I'm checking here and there. What made you get into this theater business? I mean, have you always been involved?
I mean, I think like most of us sitting here, you know, I was born in Harlem but raised in the Bronx, so I'm an inner city kid that just needed an outlet, you know. And when I went into high school, I was pretty nerdy.
Bronx and Harlem?
Yeah.
So were you like
a roughneck in any way, shape,
were
or form?
you-
Not at all.
Because
not at all.
you know, guys, he's big. I mean, just to compare, look, follow me over here. Go over there. Watch. See, I'm tiny. He's big. Look.
Do you want me to stand up or something?
Yeah, stand up.
Oh, God.
Look at this.
Compare and contrast.
See?
Yeah.
Watch.
Ow.
See? It didn't do nothing. So I'm not buying, you know, nerdy whatever, because I don't think anybody would be saying, hey, 'cause I wouldn't mess with you.
Yeah, but you know, high school was a whole different story. I was kind of a tall twig with an afro, so I looked kind of.
Get out of here.
I look like a Q-tip, you know?
You were skinny?
Yeah, yeah.
Don't lie.
No, I swear, yeah.
I was
So,
skinny, but
You know, I had that, and I had a very tough grandmother that ran a very tight ship, and I needed an outlet to be able not to sort of do what unfortunately a lot of young kids do, which is just sort of hit the streets. And education and theater were the two places where I was able to do that. And theater particularly was a lot of fun because it was a chance to escape my own reality.
when did you start with theater?
When I was 17.
Okay.
And then I just kept it going through college. And in college, I did business and theater. Then I got out of there, worked in the corporate world for a little while, and figured it just wasn't for me. And found my way eventually back into theater, and that's what I do now.
Wow. When did you find your way back into theater? How long has it been?
I would say consistently 8 years ago, after the September 11th attack.
Isn't that interesting? Because a similar thing happened with me, although it took me a little more suffering before I decided to just let it all go. So I'm back in this a good 5 years, more or less 2003. But then I kind of got back into the business. I got scared of being poor. So now I'm poor, but I'm feeling pretty good about it. By the way, Jurukan.com, visit the website. The website needs some work, so anybody out there that wants to do Ruben a solid, you know, check me out and say, Ruben, I'm going to fix your website for you because I like you. And you know, Jurukan@yahoo.com, just say, Ruben, I got it. Please, I could use the help. Thank you. So,
You're
thanks
good.
a lot, Jose. Lena Sarello is one of the contestants, right? Author, well, playwright, actress, guru, and you have a production that's in this festival.
Yes, I do.
What's the name of it?
It's called Life Could Be Un Sueño.
See, now that's typical New Yorican. You know, we say, not even New
You
Yorican.
have to use the Spanglish.
We use the
It's a Latino
Spanglish,
thing.
you know.
Yeah. Así somos.
Así somos. Okay, so tell me about the play first of all.
Well, the play is loosely based on my family. The story's not based on anything that's happened in my life, but the characters are definitely based on the crazy people that have inhabited my life over time. It's about a Cuban family in Miami, and
So you're from Miami.
I'm from Miami.
So at least that part is true.
That part is true, and it's basically about a reconciliation between a father and a daughter, and the rifts in families because of the old world culture and the new world culture, and how they are able to work through that.
And that's a big theme in our families, especially. I guess second generation.
I'm first generation American. My parents are immigrants, straight out immigrants.
So that culture clash and we say assimilating or what becoming Americanized or whatever, but it's just we live here and it's just how we grow up. It
Right.
has nothing to do with trying to put on. Although I did have identity issues because I was American, but people didn't look at me as American.
Right.
So and certainly I think one of the most precious relationships are between a father and daughter. I mean, those are the ones that are so crucial. I mean, all of them are, but that one is such a special bond and so delicate. So you were addressing that, and
I was. I love my dad, great guy, but we butt heads a lot because we're very similar, and so I.
And that
based a
always
lot of
happens
that on
too,
it.
doesn't it? A similarity between father and
Father
daughter,
and daughter.
more
I
so
think
than
so. I think so. And so, yeah, I wrote my play like that. It's also what I feel is cool about the play is that I used the style that it's written in. I used magical realism, which is used a lot in Latino society, in their plays and in their books. So there's all kinds of magical, ghostly occurrences that happen within the play.
Magical realism.
That's
I've
what
never
it's
heard of that. Explain it for our audience. I'm actually asking her to explain it to me, but I want to make it seem like because you guys don't know, right? 'Cause I don't know.
So it's basically where the spirit world and the human world meet. And there's a lot of spirituality in Latino culture. They pray to gods and they do santeria and all of that
Yeah.
stuff, but it's basically the belief in the afterlife and how the ghosts of the past, of your ancestors, of your family members, affect you in your life today. And so I include a little bit of that. There's a lot of that in Latino literature. And I felt that it would be a great way to represent the story.
Let me ask you, as a playwright, author, writer, what have you, is writing just a creative outlet? Is it, I guess, therapeutic, or
I think it's a spiritual experience.
Mm-hmm.
Because for me, it's inexplainable. I'm not a very mental writer. I write what I feel, and sometimes I'll sit, like this play, when I first wrote it, I actually sat at the computer and I wrote it in a weekend. And then I had to do all kinds of revisions to it, but it just poured out of me. And I guess it was because I was writing from the heart.
Mm-hmm.
But all of this just poured out, and the characters poured out, and everything poured out. So it was kind of like a catharsis, a religious experience.
How long ago did you write this?
Originally, I wrote it in 2001,
Mm.
and then I revised it in 2005, and then I revised it again for the purpose of the festival, because it's mostly one act. It's a full-length play that I wrote,
Okay.
so I had to actually totally revise it and cut it down so that it would be short enough to do it.
I'd like to say, not condensed, but what's a better word to make it tighter?
Tighten it up.
Tighten it up, okay.
Yeah, and that
Hey,
works.
that works. Tell me about this process of writing, as far as, like, you said you had to do revisions. The
Mhm.
work of an author is always to rewrite, revise. How
Right.
many times would you say you've gone through this?
I'm still going through it. In the
Uh-huh.
rehearsal process, we're working on, I never catch everything, so in the rehearsal process, as people are saying things, I'm going, ooh, that's not the best way to say it. We could say it like this. And so it's morphing as we're going along, hopefully getting better.
I'm curious, and I don't know if this is true or not, but has your play changed you in any way? Or how has it affected you?
I'd say it did. There are things, because I'm performing in it as well, and so there are things that I didn't realize when I wrote it, as I'm saying them and they're coming out of me and they're coming out of my mouth. I didn't realize that it was going to touch me in the way that it touched me. Like when we first read it, I had written this monologue during the reconciliation between the dad and the daughter, and I wrote it because I felt that it needed to have that kind of closure. And then when we read it, and I'm looking at the other actor, I started getting very, very emotional. And I didn't realize that it was going to hit me like that. But for some reason, it came out like that. So I guess it touches me. I mean, I did it, but now I'm on the other end. I'm the actor. And so somehow it's part of me, I guess.
Well, a play, music, it's all supposed to touch us. It's supposed to be an emotional experience. It's supposed to be a connection.
Right.
So that's what it's all about. So that's interesting that you mentioned that. I had another question. All these questions I have for you. Well, you're an actor.
Yes.
And how long have you been doing that?
It's going on 14 years professionally.
Professionally, wow.
Professionally.
14 years. And you know what? Let me just mention before I forget that if you want more information on Así Somos Bilingual Latino Playwright Festival, visit, wait, okay, there I am. Hey, visit, what's that up there? Así Somos, let me see if I could do this right. Bilingual Playwrights Festival, Teatro Latea, 107 Suffolk Street, New York, New York 10002. Is that right? Yeah. TeatroLatea.com. You can call 212-529-1946. December 5th through the 14th. When is your play?
We are the very first performance. We're opening
There
night
you go.
and 8 o'clock, December 5th. We're the very first show.
I want to see it. How do you want to see it?
Yeah! Woo! All right!
I mean the play, not me.
Definitely.
Not me. The play, sillies. Oh yeah, the play. So December 5th, her play opens 8 o'clock. You got to come check it out. And if they want more information on you, how could they find out? Do you have a website? Do you have some place people could look you up if they want to book you as?
If they want to book me, they can email me, but
Okay.
I'll give you my info.
Okay.
I don't have a website, though.
Is there a place where people could link into you and find you?
Not right now,
Okay.
unless they want to look me up.
Well, to look up Lena, call.
You can
I don't
Google
know.
me.
But maybe what I'll try to do is on the website that somebody's going to help me with, I'll have links so you can contact people and be nice. It's not okay. Nice. So 14 years, huh?
Yeah,
Very, very interesting.
I was a
And
teacher to start.
You were a teacher to start.
I was a teacher, and then there was a very interesting experience that happened at my school, and I decided, screw it, I'm going to do this.
One of
and
those
go with my
rough
dreams.
teacher things that you see on TV sometimes.
I had a student that actually died,
Oh,
and she was an artist and an actress, and so that just inspired me to say, life's too short, let's go for it. And
so you became an actress as an adult?
I did.
Wow.
I did. I had always danced. My mother put me in dance classes. I had always done school musicals and shows and stuff like that. But Latino families, they're, especially an immigrant family, they're all about what is going to be security, what is going to get you a good paycheck and benefits and a pension plan, because they had it rough
Sure.
where they came from. There were times when there was no food on the table and you needed to do whatever to get food. So they're not about these risky jobs or these ventures. And so for me, it was always, acting is really nice and singing is nice and dancing, keeps you in shape, but it's a hobby. It's not a job.
And now?
Now it's my job. It's what I do. It's how I pay my bills. I'm lucky.
Wow. And I kind of get it, but I have to ask, why? Why acting? I mean, you don't make as much as you could. I mean, I know why I do it, but I'm wondering why you do. 'Cause I'm stupid.
I'm stupid. No, I think for me, it's knowing that I'm able to touch the audience in an emotional way. I think it's a beautiful thing to be able to express things that other people can't express on stage or in film or on TV, and enrich their lives and teach, because that's what theater is about, is also educational. It's to teach people lessons and to just portray stories that are so important to hear. That was the main thing for me. It's really fulfilling to be able to do that.
People have told me on occasion, being an actor or what have you, they seem to think that, oh yeah, you're an actor, that means that, you're not real, that you can lie and pretend like that we,
Not true.
when we're dealing in relationships, they don't trust it because they think we're acting. I know the truth about it, but have you encountered that, and how do you feel about that? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I've heard people say that, but I personally am the worst liar on the face of the planet.
But you're an actress.
Lie. I'm an actress.
And there's a perception that we can lie our way through, I guess, emotions or whatever.
But that's not true for me as an actress. If I don't believe in the script, like I've had shows.
Do you think that's true of other actors?
Some, I guess. If I don't believe in what I'm doing, I can't do it well. So I guess I'm not a very good actress. I can only actually do a great job if I feel that what I'm doing is great, like the script and the story.
this is a journey that all of these playwrights are going through.
Yeah,
You
definitely.
said that they've come from, well, different nationalities.
Yeah, different
and
nationalities,
different parts of the
different
country.
regions of the country. We have writers, come from Rhode Island, and we have one group coming from California, which is really kind of cool because when we started the festival, we didn't think that, as we sort of cast the net calling for entries, we didn't think that it was going to go that far. So that was pretty neat. And the other cool thing is like each production company is learning a lot about how to produce theater and kind of get it all together in a short period of time. So that's also pretty neat.
Very interesting.
And we're learning 2 scripts.
Now, now that's
lot.
tough